Alright everyone, welcome back to another retro review, and this time I'm going to be covering the 10th anniversary of Raw special. Now this was not an actual Monday Night Raw, this was an awards show, and it was what it was. It was basically a Hall of Fame, like a Slammy Awards show, only just as more cringing to watch when you look back at it now. So I'm going to give a rundown of all the awards given, and I'm also going to give a rundown of the top 10 Raw moments according to the WWE, which claimed the fans voted for it. So let's waste no time. Let's get into this. So the first award was called Diva of the Decade, and this was won by Trish. Some say Sable should have won. Some say Sunny should have won. To me, back in 03, when I was 13 years old, I was in love with Trish Stratus, so her winning, to me as a 13-year-old, was fantastic. So I was fine. Then we had this other award called the Don't Try This at Home Award, which was given to Kurt Angle. Of course, it was the infamous steel cage match with Chris Benoit where Kurt Angle completely missed the moonsault and ate nothing but canvas, which was a pretty cool moment. The Tell Me I Didn't Just See This award, which went to the Three Faces of Foley, which was a very, very cool moment and one of the best Raw moments in Raw history. Definitely a top 3 moment on anyone's list. I don't care who you are or how hard you want to say that doesn't belong on a list. It does, because that moment was so memorable and people still talk about it whenever they see Mick Foley. So, yeah, it stands the test of time. The Gimme the Mic award went to The Rock. Of course, it's The Rock. You know, who can cut a promo better than The Rock? Especially in 03 when he was Hollywood Rock and everything that came out of his mouth was golden. So yeah, no complaints there. Then we got some stupid award called the Shut Up and Kiss Me award, which went to Triple H and Stephanie. Come on, who'd have thunk it? And the whole segment between these two, it was what it was. Triple H tried to goad Stephanie into kissing him. Instead, he pulls down his pants thinking she was going to kiss his ass, and she ended up spanking his ass, and it was just fucking cringe. So stupid and so dumb, and it wasn't even funny. It was just retarded to look at. Then we got this ridiculous award called the Network Difficulties for Controversial Programming. Why they didn't just call it the most controversial award, I'll never know. It goes to Mae Young giving birth to a hand. The infamous Mae Young giving birth to a hand segment, which was funny and retarded all at the same time. So that shit was what it was. Then we get Superstar of the Decade, which went to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And come on, throughout the entire history of Raw, from 1997 to let's say 2000, maybe 2001, nobody was more popular than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I beg you to defy me on that. And if you say Rock, that's a cop-out answer, because Rock and Austin were very equal in popularity. Austin was a supernova, so him getting the Superstar of the Decade, perfectly justifiable, especially during that era. Okay, and now I'm going to give a brief rundown on the supposed top 10 Raw moments. All right, number 10, This Was Your Life with Rock and Mick Foley. Memorable segment. You still talk about it today. Austin crushes Rock's limo. This is actually a very forgettable moment that I highly doubt people remember, but it was funny. It was okay. Number 8 was Shane on Nitro. That should have been in the top 3. Number 8 is unjustifiable for Shane on Nitro because that was an historic moment. Of course, that was the night Vince McMahon that was the night of the infamous Raw Nitro simulcast, and McMahon pretty much announces his dominance of wrestling. Number 7, the debut of Sacco, and Austin dresses up as a doctor and beats up McMahon in that segment. That's my number 1 moment of all time because that shit was hysterical. Austin beating the shit out of Vince with a bedpan in a doctor's garb was classic. Number 6, the Nation parody with DX. It's the Nation parody with DX. I don't give a fuck. That shit still cracks me up to this day. Number 5, Tyson vs. Austin. The name says itself. Tyson vs. Austin. Landmark moment in Raw history. Number 4, DX invades WCW. It's DX invading WCW. That moment will forever stick out in my mind. And I remember watching that when I was 8 years old when it first happened. The shit was awesome. Number 3 was The Rock and Hogan, their very first face-to-face confrontation where Rock challenges Hogan to the match at WrestleMania. That was a cool moment to see, and I got no complaints on that. Number 2 is Raw is Owen, the infamous tribute show to Owen Hart, who had passed away the night before in the fatal accident. You know, I am not going to complain about this, because even though WWE is clearly trying to make a profit off of it. That's what they do. But, you know, Raw is Owen was a special night and was a special moment in Raw history when you look back at it. And number 1 is the Austin Beer Bath on the Corporation 6 days before WrestleMania 15. It is what it is. It ain't my number 1. Hell, I didn't even think it was that good of a moment. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown of the 10th anniversary of Raw award show. Tell you the truth, nothing. It was nothing. It's just a typical WWE cringe award show that they try so hard to make important, but at the end of the day, it's just TV filler, and that's all it was. It was TV filler. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll check you back next time for more. Also, subscribe to my other channel, which I'll put in the link in the description box below. Take care, guys.